Some people forgive quickly and move on. Others remember every insult, every betrayal, and every moment they felt hurt. They may appear calm on the surface, but internally they carry resentment for years. Psychologically, holding grudges is not simply about being stubborn or bitter. It often reflects deeper emotional patterns related to memory, trust, and self-protection. One reason people hold grudges is emotional intensity. When someone experiences betrayal or humiliation, the brain records that event very strongly. Emotional memories are stored more deeply than neutral ones because the brain wants to protect itself from future harm. By remembering the pain clearly, the mind believes it can avoid being hurt the same way again. For some individuals, grudges act as a form of psychological defense. Letting go of anger can feel like lowering a shield. If someone forgives too easily, they may fear the same person will hurt them again. Holding on to resentment becomes a way of maintaining distance and control. Another factor is trust. People who hold grudges often take relationships very seriously. When they trust someone, they invest emotionally. If that trust is broken, the betrayal feels deeply personal. Because the connection once mattered so much, the memory of the harm becomes difficult to release. Pride can also play a role. Admitting forgiveness sometimes requires admitting that the situation affected you emotionally. For some personalities, this vulnerability feels uncomfortable. Instead of processing the hurt, they maintain anger because it feels stronger than sadness. Rumination is another psychological element. Rumination means repeatedly replaying an event in the mind. People who hold grudges often revisit past conflicts, analyzing what happened and imagining what they should have said or done. Each time the memory is replayed, the emotional response becomes reinforced. Childhood experiences may also influence this behavior. If someone grew up in an environment where conflict was never resolved properly, they may not have learned healthy ways to process anger or disappointment. Instead of expressing emotions openly, they may internalize them and store them for long periods. There is also a connection between grudges and justice. Some people have a strong sense of fairness. When they feel wronged, their mind searches for balance or accountability. If the person who hurt them never apologizes or takes responsibility, the emotional tension remains unresolved. However, holding grudges can have psychological costs. Carrying long-term resentment keeps the brain connected to past pain. The body can remain in a subtle stress state because the mind continues to revisit the original injury. Over time, this emotional weight can drain energy and affect well-being. Forgiveness, on the other hand, does not mean forgetting or excusing the harm. Psychologically, forgiveness is more about releasing the emotional grip the event has on you. It allows the brain to stop replaying the past and redirect attention toward the present. Interestingly, people who hold grudges are not always cruel or unforgiving by nature. Often they are simply people who feel deeply and remember clearly. Their challenge is learning how to protect themselves without staying emotionally trapped in old pain. In the end, grudges are not just about anger. They are about memory, trust, and the fear of being hurt again. And understanding that psychology reveals something important. Sometimes the hardest person to free from a grudge is not the other person, but the one holding on to it.